Since joining the Big Ten, Maryland Wrestling has consistently struggled in conference play, and this season is no exception. But there is some hope on the horizon. We'll take a deeper look into the Terps season so far and what's expected of the Terps coming up on the Left Bench in Focus.
I don't even remember exactly how it hit me, but I was like, oh, it's Miller time.
Welcome to the Left Bench in Focus, presented by Terrapin Sports Central. I'm Eddy Calkins, that's Maggy McGuigan, and we're going all in on Maryland wrestling. So this team, since Alex Clemson came in as head coach in 2019, they've just been on a tear.
Yeah, Eddy, I mean, the Terps continue to compete and make names for themselves in the Big Ten, but struggles have been evident this season, including last weekend in Minnesota. Maryland went to Minneapolis on Friday, hoping to end a 3-match losing streak. The Terps held Minnesota to an 11-6 lead going into intermission, but ran into an oh-so-familiar outcome. Trailing 5-0 after their opening match, redshirt sophomore Braxton Brown gave the Terps some hope. Brown claims the 2-1 win over number 20 Tyler Wells and puts Maryland on the board. Ethan Miller now, who is coming off 2 straight ranked wins, he powers 2 decisive takedowns to complete a 7-2 decision win. The Terps start with some energy and find some momentum, but just can't keep it. Maryland drops every single match after intermission, ending the night with a 30-6 loss.
And with that loss, the Terps fall to 1-5 in conference play with 2 contests left. Maryland continues its relentless Big Ten schedule this Sunday at the PAF. For an appetizer before the Super Bowl, Maryland hosts Michigan State this Sunday in its last home conference duel of the season. The Terps, of course, are coming off that loss to Minnesota, but the Spartans are also coming off a loss. 25th ranked Michigan State went up 18-0 in a dual meet with Indiana last Sunday. Then the Hoosiers took over, taking 23 unanswered points, the victory, and the Spartans' spot in the top 25. The Spartans had 2 conference wins in 4 tries this season and are led by 10th ranked Caleb Fish in the 165-pound weight class.
As we head into the Big Ten matchup this weekend, we brought on redshirt sophomore Jaxon Smith for a closer look into the Terps season and what's to come.
Jaxon, thanks so much for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
So I want to start with you and what you've done this season. You've collected multiple ranked wins and top finishes this year again. So personally, how has the season gone for you? What did you work on in the offseason maybe, and what's been working for you this season?
Yeah, so it's been going pretty good. This offseason, we've really focused on, developing my offense, and as we're seeing, it's starting to pay out, getting some high-ranking wins. So I'm looking forward to the postseason, Big Tens, and NCAAs, and getting on the podium.
And you had a breakout year last year. So what's been different for you this season compared to last?
Yeah, I think just the belief that I belong, and on the podium this year. Really worked hard this summer and this season to get there, and I definitely think I'm on the right path to getting at the top of the podium.
Yeah. So now let's switch towards the Terps, your team. And so at this point in the season, who has stood out to you in the locker room to keep up with the daily grind and bring the energy to the team?
Right. I mean, really, all of our guys are there. Some guys that have really stepped out, I would say, is Braxton Brown, Miller time, both of the Millers, Ethan and Cal. Mike's had some good wins. We brought on Seth Nevels this year. But I want to say that all of our guys, all 10 of our starting guys are there this year. So
awesome. Yeah, and we've seen how challenging it is to compete in the Big Ten. With 2 conference matchups left, what do you think needs to change for you and the team to claim another conference win?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just have to stay consistent. Believe in ourselves, and I think that's what we're doing. We're still working on little things every single day. And I think if we stay consistent and believe that, we can get it done, we will.
Yeah, so now lastly, real quick, we had our crew pick the Chiefs or the Niners this weekend for the Super Bowl. So who do you have this weekend, Chiefs or Niners?
I got the Niners. I got the Niners
All right. All right.
Why? Why is that?
because I hate the Chiefs.
Well, all right, Jackson, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck the rest of the way. We'll see you this weekend.
Of course.
Having a special bond with a coach can make all the difference. Cal and Ethan Miller, two of Maryland's top performers, have a strong bond with head coach Alex Clemson on and off the mat.
Alexa Wooten sat down with the Miller brothers and Coach Clemson to talk about their relationship over the years.
It means the world. Growing up, that was our main goal in wrestling, was to go to a powerhouse. I mean, it's just a dream come true.
Ethan and Cal Miller both wrestle for the University of Maryland, but their brotherly bond isn't the only close connection on the team. They've known head coach Alex Clemson since they were kids, growing up in the same state and going to the same clinics.
After a live go, he came up to me and was just like, "You're the truth," or something like that, like, "You're the future." And I still remember that to this day.
I just remember him. At the time, he was at Mizzou, so he was just like, "Man, one day you're going to wrestle for me."
And he was right. Shortly after their commitment to Missouri, Ethan decided that Maryland was it for him, and Clemson was there too.
I was pretty happy, and we knew that Happy Meal probably came with a toy in Cal.
Not long after, Cal decided to switch and go with his brother, and the three's bond has only grown.
He's just, he's kind of like us, to be honest with you. And, we can really just talk about anything.
But that doesn't mean Clemson doesn't push them. Clearly, Clemson is a support system for the Miller brothers, not only on the mat, but in life too. Clemson actually suggested that the brothers start their own NIL clothing brand, Miller Time Bros.
I don't even remember exactly how it hit me, but I was like, oh, it's Miller time when those two get up, and just kind of ran with it and got the PA to say it.
The brand started with selling graphic t-shirts with the brothers' pictures on them, but are only looking to grow.
You know, it's been fun to watch them. It's been fun now to be a part of it. You feel really fortunate to have kids that are their quality, not just on the mat, but off the mat.
For Terrapin Sports Central, I'm Alexa Wooten.
Yeah, and as opposed to Jackson, Alexa told us before the show that the Miller brothers are rooting for the Chiefs this weekend. They're going to watch the game together.
Yeah, they're going to watch it with Coach Clemson. There's definitely going to be some rivalries going on the team, but it should be interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Alexa. Great story as always. Now stay with us, because when we come back, we'll review the team's season so far and take an early look at next year.
And we'll tell you about two wrestlers who have a chance to make noise in March.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Welcome back to the Left Bench in Focus, brought to you by Terrapin Sports Central. I'm Maggy McGuigan, that's Eddy Calkins. And Eddy, we've seen Maryland struggle in these Big Ten matchups, but there's still a chance for the Terps to claim a conference win this season, another one.
Yeah, Maggie, and there have been some key contributors who may lead the Terps to victory. In February, that means it's the championships for winter sports, and they're right around the corner.
TSC's Matthew Noose is joining us today to discuss two Maryland wrestlers that have an opportunity to make a name for themselves come March. Matthew?
Yeah, guys, we could be on All-American watch this spring with Braxton Brown and Jaxon Smith with an opportunity at a top 8 finish in Kansas City. Brown enters this season as a redshirt sophomore off the back of an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament at 125 pounds last year. Now, Brown has made the step up to 133 pounds. Brown jumped up to the next weight class in Maryland's second dual meet of the season against then number 18 Pittsburgh. He faced Vinny Santinello, ranked number 13 at the time, and walked off the mat with a 6-3 decision victory. Since then, Brown is one of the top wrestlers at 133. In Big Ten duels, he's picked up 2 wins by tech fall and a decision victory over Penn State's Baylor Shunk. Brown has shot up the rankings at 133, reaching number 21 in the recent Intermat poll. Smith was recruited in the same recruiting class as Brown, a recruiting class ranked 8th in the country at 2021. Also a redshirt sophomore, Smith competes at 197 pounds and is consistently ranked in the top 10 nationally. He kickstarted his season with a tech fall win 15-0 against Americans Liam Volk Close. Continuing into Big Ten meets, Smith has won by tech fall, major decision, and by decision twice. Outside of conference play, Smith has put himself on the map nationally. Smith placed second at both the Tiger-style invite in Missouri and at the Cliff Keen Invitational in Las Vegas, a highly stacked tournament with some of the top wrestlers in the country. He defeated number 1 seed Tanner Sloan en route to a top 2 finish in Vegas. He has lost just 3 bouts all season, earning him a top 5 ranking in the latest Intermat poll. And the best trait for both of these wrestlers is that they come with experience on the biggest stages at the Big Ten and NCAA championships. Brown and Smith both advanced past the first round at last year's Big Ten championships. Brown was defeated by the second-seeded Liam Cronin of Nebraska in the second round to fall into the consolation bracket. He worked his way through that bracket to earn an at-large bid to the NCAA championships. Smith was also ousted in the second round, but battled through the wrestleback rounds, defeating Iowa's Jacob Warner and Zach Ronagel of Illinois in sudden victory to earn 3rd place at 197. The duo competed at the NCAA championships, where both missed out on All-American status. Yeah, and guys, with March right around the corner, big opportunity for an All-American spot, and just remember the Big Ten championships right here in College Park at Xfinity Center, so maybe some home mat advantage for the Terps.
Yeah, and it's being hosted here for the first time ever, which is super exciting for the team and College Park.
Yeah, I remember they sold out that Penn State game. It was electric. Just imagine that energy times 5 in the Xfinity Center. It's going to be great.
Well, thank you, Matt. And Maryland's 2023-2024 campaign has been defined by its inability to compete in the Big Ten. With just 2 conference wins since 2016, the Terps are struggling. Throughout the season, Maryland typically found wins against unranked opponents, but have lost 4 straight in Big Ten play, and they have not been particularly close. The bottom half of Maryland's lineup has been lackluster all season. With just a few matches left, they will need to step up to snap that streak. Maryland will take on Michigan State and Rutgers before a match with Drexel, then the last chance invite, and finally the Big Ten championships. With 2 Big Ten matches left, could the Terps snap a long overdue losing streak?
Yeah, Maggie, and it's also been a really up and down season for the Terps, but once again, the future is bright for this program thanks to Alex Clemson. Current Terps to keep an eye on for the rest of the year are the Miller brothers. Cal, in the 141-pound weight class, has been a go-to option for Clemson all year, with multiple ranked wins and a first-place finish at the Tiger-style invite back in November. His brother Ethan has multiple ranked wins as well and competed at last year's Big Ten championships as a redshirt freshman. Clemson is also bringing in 4 wrestlers in the Matt Scout's top 160 in his 2024 recruiting class. Combine the Miller brothers and the incoming freshmen, and there is a lot of promise to return next season for a hopeful rebound.
Yeah, and this season has been all over the place, but there is one Terp that has been dominant through it all, and that's Braxton Brown. Brown led his squad when it matters most all year, which is why we're crowning him as our MVP. Brown changed his weight class and excelled early this season, becoming a vital part of the Terps' success. This season, Brown won a decision over Penn State's Baylor Shunk and defeated both Indiana and Northwestern by technical fall. On paper, his conference record isn't the most appealing, but the redshirt sophomore has grabbed some serious wins over ranked opponents. Congrats to Braxton Brown on being named our MVP. And now it's time for us to crown our top 5 plays of the season so far. Eddie, get us started.
That's right, here we go. Of course, you have to start with Jaxon Smith here with the takedown. Look at that, that was against Michigan earlier this year. Picks him up in the air and gets him down on the mat.
And here we have Jaxon Smith again with a twirl takedown. Jaxon Smith just doing Jaxon Smith things here in our number 4 spot.
And now we go to Ethan Miller, one of the Miller brothers, a takedown in Indiana. Look at that, pick it up, pure strength, and slams the wrestler on the mat.
And here he is again, Jaxon Smith with a duck that earned him the Adidas takedown of the week. Let's see that again.
That's an
wow.
amazing duck. You would have been taken down easily with that. Now we go to number 1, Michael North with a pin to hype up his team. This closed out the only conference win of the year, the third since Maryland joined the Big Ten. Mike North wins by tech fall, and look at his teammates behind him. Everybody's fired up at the pav. Just an amazing play by Michael North to really get some juice into this team. And so that's going to do it for us here at the Left Edition in Focus. Alex Gary and yourself will be here and have you covered for the Left Bench next Tuesday.
In the meantime, you can keep up with all of Terrapin Sports Central's coverage on X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and online at terrapinsportscentral.com.
We'll see you next time.